Hey, Northern Ohio golfers, let's talk golf. Here is Luke Taylor, one of the most colorfully dressed golfers who spends his day living on the edges of bunkers in northeastern Ohio. It's the Clubhouse Confidential, a Northern Ohio golf experience.
Hello and welcome to the first ever Clubhouse Confidential, a Northern golf experience. Luke Taylor here, live in the Kokrak Closet. Why do we call this the Kokrak Closet? Because he said when we had him on my previous show that this place reminded him of a closet. So we got two special guests. Don't forget to subscribe, rate, and review. If you're watching on YouTube, press subscribe. These gentlemen are annoyed at me because I didn't tell them it was video too, but whatever. I can always edit things. No, I can't. But we got two fine gentlemen. I decided to stay in the middle for the simple fact of it's kind of like that East-West turf war, because you got David Griffith, a.k.a. Griff from Northern Ohio PGA, and we got Robb Schulze with two Bs, right? Two Bs. Yeah. Two Bs. That's impressive. He must be from Wisconsin, yes. From the Northern Ohio Golf Association. So welcome to the first ever Clubhouse Confidential. I'm excited.
Thanks, Luke, for having us. I'm very honored that we're on the first one. Yeah. Very cool.
Yeah, well, I couldn't get anybody else. So
well, that's fair.
And I needed two people that were better looking than me, or were slimmer than me to kind of think it. So the reason why I did this show, and I reached out to you guys, and you guys were awesome, is, my daughter plays tournaments with your organization. I'm not good. I'm going to sign up for some of these mid-ams.
You got to. Yeah.
Oh my God.
If there's room.
I just want to be I just want to be last on the list, because if you're not going to be first, you might as well be last, right, Ricky Bobby? But what I noticed is, like, the last couple years, she's playing tournaments. She plays all over the place. You guys do a really good job. Shout out to Haley and Matt for sure. And I didn't realize you used to be the tournament director. So we're going to talk about that. So that's interesting. But we have so much good golf in northeastern in Northern Ohio. When you encompass Toledo, Youngstown, Akron, Canton, Cleveland, obviously. It's just impressive how much good golf, and not just private, public too, and how much money these public courses, these cities are putting into it. So who wants to start on that one?
That's a great point, Luke. I mean, it's a hotbed for golf, really, when you think about it.
We're unbelievably blessed up here.
Yeah.
I mean, even when I was, when I first got into the PGA, I was in Chicago, and you see all the courses around there. But coming to Northern Ohio and in Ohio in general, it's unbelievable the inventory of golf courses and places to play we have here. It's really...
And
it's
conditions
phenomenal.
Rival anywhere in the country.
Absolutely.
I mean, we're lucky to have the turf and the grasses we have here in Northern Ohio, but public golf, I mean, it's unbelievable the conditions that we have.
Yeah, and it's amazing. Like, if you look at just from like Fox Den, they put a whole bunch of money into their facility and their driving range. Ridgewood in Parma. Yep. They're building a clubhouse. Ellsworth Meadows is building a clubhouse. I saw somewhere, not Grantwood. What's the one in? I'll think of it. But they're doing some different stuff. Obviously golf is booming. How do we continue to grow the game?
Go ahead, Rob. I mean, we're
put you on the spot here, Rob.
Yeah, well, I mean, I know nobody wants to talk about that word that happened in 2020 anymore, but when all that happened, it was an activity that we found out. It took a little bit of a challenge with the state and overreaction, I think, a little bit of just not knowing what we didn't know about COVID. But it was a place that everybody realized this was an activity we could do anytime, anywhere. You can walk. You don't need golf carts. I mean, you can be on a golf course and enjoy nature and be outside. And this time of the year, with the colors turning and everything like that, I mean, I just think people found out about golf in 2020, and I don't. Right now, we keep saying, we got a plan because it may slow down, and it's not. I mean, it just isn't slowed down. So I think we've got a lot of new people that have found the game through that course in 2020, and they're new to the game. They've got the hook in them, and they're not going away. So it's been great.
Yeah, I think one thing to add to that, I think one thing that's really cool stat right now is there's more people playing off course than on. So meaning that they're playing, just hitting range balls, or they're playing on simulators. Topgolf obviously has been a big impact on that. So knowing that we have a big part of that population of golfers that have not played on a golf course yet, that's
Isn't that
pretty
crazy, though,
it's
when
amazing.
You think about it. Like, you go to Topgolf, or there's a corner club in Akron. I know that group. There's X Golf. There's 1899. There's the Golf Dome. There's Cleveland Golf. I mean, there's so many indoor places.
Yeah.
But they're busy.
They are, and we run a winter series at really any facility that runs a TrackMan system. So a lot of the country clubs have TrackMan, 1899 does, and others. And we run a winter series for NOGA and do that throughout the winter. But
it's a year-round sport. I mean, there's no doubt that we're year-round now here.
Yeah,
here
and you know what? The weather is getting better and better later in the year. I mean, look at today. It's
we're not talking about politics, religion, or climate change. Okay?
Gotcha. No.
Smart, very smart.
Or hair, for that matter.
Oh, that's good. Thank God.
Notice the book ending.
Yeah,
like that.
Yeah, that's why Luke is really in the middle.
I know how it works, man. Always to my favor. So, I guess my question is, if you look at the average tee sheet at a public golf course, whether it's Chippewa, whether it's Ellsworth, whether it's Manakiki with the Metro Parks, Valley of the Eagles, they're full.
Yeah.
Okay, now here's the thing. How do we continue to grow the game if you can't get access to golf courses? Because you look at Canton, for instance, Canton in Stark County has had a lot of closures the last couple of years.
Yeah.
How do we continue to grow the game of golf with that in mind, with tee times? Because golf does take a long time.
Yeah.
I mean, it does.
It does. I mean, when we say golf courses are full, they're not full, right? I mean, there's obviously some non-peak times that are still available out there. I think you got to get creative as a golfer when you can play golf. I think, what happened in 2020 has allowed a lot of people to work from home now, and so they can determine when they play the game. And so it's really unique. Your Saturday and Sunday mornings used to be the prime tee times. That's not necessarily the case anymore. Fridays tend to be the busiest day for our facilities. So just trying to try to consume golf when you can and when the facilities allow is important. I think pricing obviously has gone up, which is the supply and demand, but it's still extremely affordable in this part of the country compared to other parts. So you just got to get creative when you're able to get out and play golf.
Right. And that's the truth. It's funny. So let's talk about your different organizations. So you guys really work hand in hand. You're more professional teaching golfers junior tournaments, obviously pro tournaments, meaning local pros, and then you're more, association with clubs, the players, more of like the people like me, the amateur side. Yeah. And it's interesting because you're a member of that association and you're a member of that association. I'm a member of this association. It's really unique because I think there's a lot of confusion with the acronym or the letters or what have you. But you guys work really well hand in hand.
Yeah, great point, Luke. We at the core, we grow the game together. And so we do it differently just because we're basically responsible for different parts of the golfing community, but we grow the game together. And I'm fortunate enough to represent about 500 PGA members and associates that are the ones that turn the lights on and turn the lights off at these facilities. And so we run educational programs. We have a tournament program for them, and then we have a junior golf program too that we're extremely proud of. And then Rob obviously services the amateur side, and I'll let him talk about that.
Yeah, we're getting close to 40,000 GIN membership, NOGA members.
That's awesome.
Our NOGA member clubs, who we can't be prouder of the relationship that we have with the Northern Ohio PGA. David and I have just worked wonderfully together, and this will sound a little bit of like a love fest, but
that's why I'm standing in the middle, man.
Yeah, there you go. I think our goals align, and we've got board of directors who are, we've always kind of captured the saying, whatever's good for golf in Ohio is what we want to be doing, and that aligns with what they're doing. So it's just worked very well together, and the combined organizations, when we are together, it's an unbelievable feeling. We just did the Ohio State high school championships down at Firestone, working together, and just the camaraderie of the two staffs and working together is we're growing the game, and we're doing it on both sides. So, but yeah, I just wanted to tie it up by just saying, the PGA professionals that run our facilities, a lot of our facilities they are the ambassadors for us on the NOGA side, even though they're PGA professionals, because they are working with the handicap system and doing gin and things like that at their facilities. So, we couldn't be prouder to be.
Yeah, and we couldn't be more proud that Rob's a PGA member. I mean, he was a traditional golf professional.
You just want his membership dues. Are you expired? Or are you legit?
No. I am a proud PGA member.
Yeah, and he was one of them. Obviously, running a facility. He's been a head golf professional here in Northern Ohio for a number of years, and so he knows exactly what our PGA members go through every day.
Yeah, and he's the greatest CEO Northern Ohio golf has ever had because he's the only one.
there's some truth to that. Yeah,
First and only.
Yeah.
Should I drop the mic?
Just don't bang it on the thing.
Yeah.
It'll reverberate and stuff like that.
That's great, Luke. I like that.
It's the truth. So let me ask you guys this, okay? I was going to ask you something. Griff, I'll start with you first. What does golf mean to you?
Oh, it's everything. And it's all I know, to be honest with you. I mean, I was fortunate enough to grow up in the game. My dad worked for Titleist when I was young, and so I was obviously had access to the game, unlike most, and access to equipment. And so, I started at a very, very young age. I played competitively in junior golf, and then I was fortunate enough to play college golf. And then
where'd you play it again?
I was fortunate enough to play for Mr. Herb Page.
I feel like this is slowly going to become like previous show with Ben. It's slowly going to become Clubhouse Confidential, a Northern Golf Experience, and Kent State University men's golf team.
Yeah, well, we're fortunate that we had Herb Page, and he groomed a lot of us to stay in the business, so it's pretty cool. But really, it's all I know, and I knew I wanted golf as a career because I love the game, and I've been very, very fortunate to be in my work for the Northern Ohio PGA, and currently my role. I've been with this section for 24 years, so
crazy.
It's awesome. That's
crazy. Rob, I'm going to ask you the same question. I asked him first because you seem like you have more members, and I don't want to piss off as many people. So,
okay.
What does golf mean to you? I mean, you've been in the industry for a long time too.
Yeah, it's the same as David. I mean, I've never worked outside of the business, so to be able to play golf at a young age, I started picking a driving range. We lived on a public golf course and picked driving range, and my neighbor was the head pro there. So
there you go.
We worked out a little deal so I could play golf, and ultimately got pretty good at this, and moved up through the ranks just like David. High school, college, played at Cleveland State.
Mm-hmm. Good program.
Yes,
good program.
Absolutely. And the thing about the game of golf is. I look back at the relationships, and it's a lot of times it's in these situations, even today, the three of us sitting here, what's come out of just having a love for the game.
Yeah.
And my wife sees it when we get all together. There's this, I don't want to say it's a clique because it's way bigger than a clique of people that get together and want to talk golf, want to play golf, and they're just really, really good people, and it just permeates. And this game is that one central, it's kind of like, the solar system. The golf is the sun, and everything's kind of just moving around it. And she's worked in the professional world her whole life, and she says, you just don't see this anywhere else. You don't see the way the relationships are and how you guys interact with each other. So there is a definite love here.
It's annoying for her, isn't it?
It is.
Yeah.
It is.
No.
Yeah. It is, because I think she covets it. She wants the same thing.
My wife feels the same way. She doesn't have relationships that I'm fortunate to have just because of our bond of golf. And this game attracts so many great people and values.
Right. But don't you think about this? Because I have college basketball shows and stuff like that, and have a past in college basketball. It's like the same thing I notice with a lot of sports. You just have like this brotherhood or sisterhood, and it's just you kind of go through it. You have the same passion. Golf is not the most used four-letter word, though, on a golf course, I might add. But think of it this way. How many times have you been partnered with someone in all your years of playing golf? You've played higher levels than I have, okay? How many people can you remember that you got paired with, whether you went to a random golf facility in Florida or wherever, that you can remember that were like, man, this person was like, you know what?
Yeah. Yeah, you learn a lot about someone.
You got
course.
one or two.
Yeah.
He's thinking about you.
No, we know a lot of those people, and you learn a lot. I think the game is very humbling, but it's just a great game that brings a lot out of people, and so you learn a lot about someone on the golf course.
Yeah, you absolutely.
Yeah, it's very humbling when you miss a 2-foot putt.
No doubt.
Yeah,
and we've all been there. I mean, this game is nobody is immune to the things that this game brings to you. But at all levels.
I will say, when I was at Acacia as the head pro. I had a lot of members when they first were getting to know me. They were a 20, a 25 handicap, and we did a thing that I learned from Tom Waitress at Lakewood. We always wanted to play with the members, my staff, my assistants, and they would come up to me and they say, "You don't want to play with me. I'm not a good golfer." And I said, how many single-digit plus handicaps I played with that I would never want to play with again?
Yeah.
I said, I just want to go out and have fun.
That's exactly right.
That's what the handicap system, that we can have a game, we can do all those kind of things, but I just want to enjoy myself just like they want to.
Yeah.
And if I can bring a little bit of that to them by playing with them, that's all the more.
That's a great point.
Better.
Yeah.
It's funny because I just finished high school girls golf season, and big up to Magnificat, who won the state championship. I know a lot of those girls, and also Hoban, because my daughter goes to Hoban, the boys, and then Warren or JFK. JFK won the Division III, I believe.
Yeah.
So we have really good golf, and I will tell you something. And what's even better? We beat the South twice this year. in the Ohio Cup.
Oh, I know. We've both trophies in our office for the very first time.
I know.
And
I
don't want to brag about that.
I know, and we're actually going to talk to Jimmy Beers, who is the assistant for the junior side, and then we talked to Coach Camp on the back of this episode, stuff like that. But I guess here what I'm saying is, I watch junior golf, girls golf especially, in high school golf, and there is all ranges. I mean, you've seen it.
Yep.
And I have never seen anybody be so happy to shoot 125.
Yeah.
Like there was a girl that, shot 140 her first tournament, pretty much maxed out everything. She shot 125, and I'm like, man, that's interesting.
It is.
But it's just so... The little things. I mean, you could have the shittiest round. You've been there, and you just hit that one shot, and it just keeps coming you back for more.
It usually happens on about the 18th or 9th hole, right? Right when you're about to finish. Do you remember that?
Yeah. Yeah.
I think, you know what? I mean, that young lady, young man that's going to shoot 125, that's a starting point.
Yes.
I mean, everybody's kind of started at that point.
No doubt.
And, I have to give a shout out to David and to Haley. I was around the scoring tent for the girls at the high school championships, and listening to Haley in the tent. Every girl that came in,
she's awesome.
She welcomed.
Awesome.
Yeah.
And didn't matter what they shot.
Yep,
if
she
they
is
shot
awesome.
72 or they shot 125, she congratulated them on great play. And again, not our organization, but watching that and being affiliated with it, I love it.
Yeah.
If you ever let her leave, I will take you down.
Listen,
I will hunt
I've
you
already
down,
made
boy.
that mistake.
Hear
I've
me?
already
Yeah.
made that
No,
mistake.
yeah, she did start
She
with
was an
Robb.
intern
Yeah.
for us, and
Yeah.
then went,
Yeah,
okay,
we're fortunate to have well, we've got another employee that's went the other way.
Yes,
so,
exactly.
I think what's really cool about Robb and I is we're around golf every single day, and we're creating life moments for people. And you never know when those moments are going to come, whether it's a low round or it's a hole-in-one, or someone goes on and wins a big event. Could be a net event. Could be a scratch event. So that's what's really cool. We get bogged down sometimes in the in the job itself, and ups and downs of that. But we're creating life moments every single day for people, and there's certain people at all different levels that literally will come up to us and say, "Do you remember 15 years ago when this?" And I'm like, "Holy moly!" Those are things that are really cool. So we take it for granted at times. I remind our staff, to make sure that they understand that that's happening, and so it's pretty cool.
Yeah, and I think it's I see your operation. I'm sure you're completely the same with tournaments. I don't think people understand how much people work in golf season. And golf season now, with the weather getting nicer, you might only had a tournament middle of September. Now I'm seeing in your events you got stuff in November and December and now indoor and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I think people don't appreciate, and I see it with Matt and Haley. On your end, and it's like and they're always in a good freaking mood.
Yeah.
It's like you need to stop. Like I don't know what's going on here, but you need to stop. It's 6 a.m.
Yeah.
My kids
sometimes earlier.
Sometimes
earlier.
We're in Ashland.
Yeah. No.
Well, he and I, I don't do it much anymore in terms of marking a golf course or doing hole locations. And one of the times that he and I will do that for his events, and then me for our events, is we get out very, very early before the first people get on the golf course.
Yeah.
I'll shoot him a picture sometimes in the morning when I'm out on a golf course. He'll shoot something back to me.
Yeah.
And we just both have said to each other it's our favorite time to be on the course. And that early morning.
Quiet.
No one else out there.
Oh, no.
Steven coming off some of the lakes.
It's phenomenal. But you have to have that. It is a long grind.
It is.
And it's an abbreviated season because we're northern, but it is a long grind. But the way our people, and I include David's people in this, how we pull this all off, it's really incredible, and it's kudos because, as he said, he and I are running the organizations. We're at these events, but at the end of the day, it's our staffs that are pulling all this off.
Yeah.
And like I always said with my first assistant, if I'm not here, you're that guy.
Yeah.
And so I feel that confidence with the staff that we have.
Yeah, I agree completely.
Yep.
Yeah.
So let's talk a little bit about local golf courses and stuff like that. What are some golf courses that come to mind in Northern Ohio that just don't get the due it deserves?
Well, we got to mention the Metro Parks. I mean, I think they have they're up to 10 golf courses.
Yeah, 9.
I mean, it's remarkable the different facilities that the Metro Parks have.
Manikiki, baby.
And all different types of facilities too. I mean, it appeals to every single golfer. And so, we're so fortunate in Cleveland to have the Metro Parks. And so I think it really starts with them on the public side. Don't put us on the spot in regards to, naming certain golf courses, but, we touched on it earlier. I mean, we just have such a wide variety of public and private facilities at all different levels that are really, really cool.
Yeah. I would say that
he can piss them off more. You can't piss them off.
Exactly. So, no, I'm going to welcome into the western side of the state because as we've merged with Toledo a few years ago,
it's kind of they're kind of forgotten, right? Like it's just like, oh, it's Toledo, and no offense to Toledo.
No,
great golf in Toledo, unbelievable golf.
There really is, and our Northern Ohio guys and ladies have been able to use that because we go over there for tournaments.
Yeah.
And we're looking at revamping that whole side of the state in terms of tournaments going forward, but. There's a lot of newness with our guys going that way, but there is as well with Toledo coming to us and being able to play in events that they weren't normally able to play in. I think all those walls in the state of Ohio have dropped with the golf associations.
Yep.
As long as you got a gin handicap, we welcome anybody into any of our events.
Yeah. Whether it's real or not, right?
Exactly.
And it's amazing. You talk about Toledo. A lot of people don't talk about Youngstown. I mean, we've been out there a number of times, Mill Creek and Avalon and the Youngstown Country Club. I mean, there's some real, the Lake Club. I mean, there's some really good golf courses in Youngstown. And Youngstown's only like 45, 50 minutes from Akron, Cleveland. I don't think people understand that.
Yeah, no doubt. But, I mean, you could talk about Akron, Canton, going all the way to Mansfield and going to the western, southwestern side over in Lima. I mean, there's just, it's amazing what type of golf we have. But you're right. It's a very rich area for golf, Northern Ohio. It's great.
Yep. Give me kind of a recap of how the year went in your different tournaments. I mean, I'll start with you, Robb. Were there any kind of like domination by any player or anything that you really enjoyed? Like maybe one tournament, I'm gonna put you on the spot that you just will always remember.
Well, Brian Smith, our player of the year this year from Oberlin Golf Club.
Isn't he won it like 10 years?
10. This was his 10th one.
10th win or 10th.
I want to check his gin.
Yeah, no, he's
a great player.
He's a great player and a better guy. But anyhow, he's obviously been a mainstay. Even when NOGA was, really just a private golf club organization. Now that we have all the public and everybody in, it's a lot better competition, and he's still doing what he's doing. Yeah. The event for the year, I have to say it's the Lewis Cup for us. I mean, we had our 4th Lewis Cup this year. It's named after Bob Lewis. It's a Walker Cup kind of an event down that we have at Westfield, and we're so proud to partner with Westfield every year with that. Yep. We play the first rounds on the south, and then we play the final round individual matches on the north. And it's been just an awesome event. I mean, it is the event that everybody is playing to get into at the end of the year.
And is it seniors and?
It is. So we have the 2 teams are the senior amateurs and then I say the junior amateurs, but it's just
that's
the
what Mitch Camp
amateurs.
said. I'm like, juniors. I'm like, well, you got 60 and 30. He's like, no, juniors under 50. I'm like, well, I'm a junior still.
Yeah. And we had, on paper, the amateurs should have really blown out the seniors this year, but it was unbelievably competitive. Came down to the last event. The amateurs did end up winning it this year, but that is a great event. We're so proud. Tristan Lewis has helped us with that event as well, and to keep his father's name going up here in Northern Ohio is awesome. Yeah,
awesome.
Yeah, it's a great event that they've created. I know it's is this the 3rd year? Fourth year.
Yeah.
Great event. I think probably the most recognizable events for us are that include professionals and amateurs. We run the Ohio Senior Open at Firestone every year, and we run the Ohio Open, which traditionally it's been at Westfield. So we're those are probably our Super Bowls, and so we're known outside of our organization a little bit for those events. And then our players, we had a really competitive year this year for our players, and then probably the event that we're the most proud of when we win is the Ohio Cup, and very similar because we come together as a team.
I don't play in it, but I certainly am watching it because
I'm excited. I'm excited to be there next year.
Yeah, and this year we were down at Westbrook in Mansfield. They hosted unbelievable facility, and it was the closest contested Ohio Cup that I've been a part of, and I've been around 24 of them, and it literally came down to the last group.
David lost his hair down there.
I did. It was stressful. I'm gonna say I don't know if I could be a college golf coach because this was very stressful, but I commend our guys because they hung in there and played really good.
Yeah. So not only do you guys do golf, there's some kind of other initiatives both associations do. Robb, tell me a little bit what the NOGA Golf does locally for different maybe foundations and different charities.
Well, like I said, the mantra for NOGA since I've been in this seat has been what's good for golf in Ohio is what we want to be part of. So we're really supporting a lot of different organizations. The Ohio Girls Golf Foundation, David's Junior Golf Foundation, We do something with ATF down in Worcester for the agronomy side of golf. But I would say probably our closest, it was born of NOGA, is the turn. The turn and what we do with people, adaptive golf-wise, people that have had a traumatic brain injury, a stroke, something that's altered their life. Today was once, and then tomorrow was completely different. And we bring them back into life by using the game of golf. It's not the center focus. We're not trying to make golfers out of somebody that had a stroke, but we're using golf and the swing and the balance and hand-eye coordination and everything to get people back into their lives again. So they're not, after their tragic incident, going home and sitting on the couch after PT's done and those kind of things. We get them back out again, and we get them involved in doing some things. So, and that stemmed into NOGA really jumping into the Ohio Adaptive Open, and in partnership with the NOPGA, who supports it, and the Turn. We've got an event going on with the Cleveland Metro Parks as a partner at Seneca every beginning of August, and we had 39 players come in last year. It doesn't sound like a lot, but it's unbelievable.
Yeah.
And I'm going to tell you right now, this is just not people in adaptive vehicles playing golf or having a prosthetic leg or missing an arm. There is really, really good golf here. And, the U.S. Adaptive Open is going with the USGA now. It's something that you need to come out and see. So I invite everybody to come out and see that next year. It'll change your life. I'm not joking. It will. Because when we went to the first Adaptive Open in Pinehurst, being in the trenches every day with the Turn, we drove and we left, and we just said we got to do this in Ohio. The joy that's in the air is absolutely incredible. So
very cool.
What about your side of the?
Well, just like
equation?
Rob, we have a foundation, an arm of our section, and we're trying to make an impact, just like Rob, in our communities through the game of golf. We've been fortunate; we do support Rob and the Turn, just like he does with us, which is great. We also have a scholarship program for juniors. Mm-hmm. We awarded about $30,000 this year for college scholarships.
Awesome.
We have a Clubs for Kids program we're extremely proud of. We gave away 110 sets of golf clubs this year. We were intentional about trying to grow girls golf and girls high school golf. So about 90 of those sets of the 90 sets of the 110 were awarded to high school golf teams.
Yeah, and we've talked about that before because just being entrenched in that.
Yeah,
I think the biggest threshold of entry is just the cost of a lot of it.
Yeah, cost and equipment, and so we're proud to continue to do that. And we're going to continue to grow that and hopefully give out much more than 110 sets. We also we have a PJ Hope program, which is helping our Patriots everywhere. So very similar to what the Turn's doing, but we're concentrating on veterans and really helping vets, cope with physical and mental issues that they're dealing with after they come home from war or from wherever they've been, and the game has saved lives through this program. And so we serviced about 300 veterans this summer, this year I should say, and we're going to continue to do that in the off season and hopefully grow that going forward. It's and then we've supported 6 different organizations through the game of golf and by awarding them some grants too. So it's really cool. It's something that it's been the most rewarding thing I've done in my career, and to be able to see how the PGA members and associates in our section are affecting lives in our community through the game is really, really cool.
Yeah. All I hear is a lot of good story ideas from me.
Yeah, exactly.
But I mean, this is one of the main reasons I did this. We have so many great things that people don't know about. We have so many great players. Mm-hmm. I mean, to win 10 times and just the Ohio Open, I don't think people don't understand. I mean, look at the Tigertown Open. Mm-hmm. That's been around for 3,000 years.
Yep.
I mean, Justin Lauer, I think, won it, who's on the PGA Tour.
Yep.
I mean, Kent State. Sorry.
It's okay.
Saying Kent State.
No,
I know.
okay.
I didn't go there either. I do like it, but I didn't go there either. I mean, you look at what Herbie Page has done.
Yep.
I mean, you have 3 guys from the same team on the bloody PGA Tour.
Yeah.
I mean, in Kent, Ohio.
Yeah.
I mean, it's crazy.
And those 3 guys made the President's Cup on the same team this year.
Well, they kind of had to because it was in Canada.
Well, that's true. That's true.
I mean, let's be honest. I'm Canadian. I can say
I know,
that.
those
I can
Canadians.
say that.
Those Canadians.
But that's one of the reasons. And then just the facilities. Oh, my God. And I feel like Northern Ohio has, taken that jump. Like, you just look at some of these public facilities. Yeah, you'd see burnout spots before COVID and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. You don't see that anymore.
No.
The range, the mats would be, you don't. I mean, if Herbie and Trent get new outdoor mats, you know there's something going wrong, right?
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm just being honest. But I've got an idea, and I want to put more work on both you two because, you guys are the figureheads of your association. You need to work harder. Have you guys ever thought or ever done a Ryder Cup event against your association against his association? Because I would love to see who'd win that.
That's a great idea, Luke.
We've never heard of that.
Yeah, we've
idea.
never heard that.
Yeah. So there are associations, and when I first got on the chair, and actually Dominic was still in David's seat, I was at the Indiana Golf Association looking at all their plaques. We had a little meeting over there, and there was a plaque up on the wall for just that event over in Indiana. And so I shot it to Dominic and said, hey, we should do this. And it's an idea that's out there. I'll be honest with you.
When?
Exactly.
That's exactly right. Yeah.
I didn't
Like
you
said
when?
that, 'cause-
That's exactly the
I got
word.
a great idea.
Yeah.
We'll do it at a putt-putt facility.
Yeah.
Okay.
There you go. I love the
Raise
idea.
money.
And
I do too.
I
It's just
think
hard. When do you do it? Where do you do it? When do you do
True.
it? I mean, here's the thing. You a lot of your players are working full-time in the golf industry.
Right.
Yeah.
A lot of your tournaments are on Mondays. And you also, not only on Mondays, you also have at a lot of country clubs junior events.
Yeah.
So you've got two different people. And then a lot of your players that might play have jobs or work in the golf industry.
Yeah.
You
So,
have
like,
no
how do you
idea how many of our guys
Oh, I
take
get it.
vacation days to play in our events.
Yeah.
That's
Oh, I
how
get it.
dedicated
Yeah.
they are. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's great.
Yeah.
Maybe their wives don't know that.
yeah, well,
Yeah, I'm sure they do.
their bosses
Their
probably
bosses don't know that.
Yeah.
So the last thing I want to talk about is, and I want to help promote kind of some of the things you guys are both
Please.
doing.
Oh.
Golf travel. You've got some pretty cool golf trips coming up.
Yeah, we do. We actually have one here in a couple of weeks going down to Casa de Campo down in the Dominican Republic. We're working on making sure there's
Teeth of the dog.
no hurricanes coming through. Yeah.
You'll be
Teeth
okay.
of the dog.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
no,
usually
it's
Great
September,
golf down
October.
in the Dominican.
Yeah, and
Really
so
good golf.
we're
Deep
making
dive.
that trip down because that's actually going to shut the Teeth of the Dog down here at the end of the year and redo it. So all
Yeah.
of next year it'll be closed. So
How many
so,
people
yeah.
are going?
We've got 22 going.
That's pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah,
that's
it's
pretty
really good. Yeah, and then we've last year we went to Southwest Ireland. Unbelievable trip. Just an unbelievable trip. If you go to NOGA.org, there's a little video thing we put on there about me talking about the trip. My wife went as well. And then we're going next year. I just got an email this morning about 4 couples that want to go. We're going to Northern Ireland next year. So, yeah, so we'll fly into Dublin and go up there and play all the great golf courses up there.
Yeah, nice.
Yeah, we've been fortunate to have Las Vegas Pro-Am that we've run. We're actually getting ready to
That sounds
to leave
really
on,
rough.
on November the 10th is our
Las
trip
Vegas
starts.
Pro-Am.
We take 144 players out every year. We 36 foursomes. We have a waiting list to get in this event. This is going to be the 25th
So
year.
does a pro take 3 members?
Yep.
Is that how it works?
Yep, pro takes 3 members. They play
never
3
been
rounds
asked
of
to be in
golf.
that one.
Every
do that,
event,
you know.
every round is a
don't know
is
about
a
that.
different format, and so as we all know, there's so many things in Vegas to confuse and deter players. So we have an individual or a single day
A
event.
babysitter is what you're saying. You have
Basically.
babysitters.
We have a lot of babysitters, but we have a great time. It's a great group of people. Most of the amateurs that go every year.
Yep.
And so,
Awesome.
but we're always looking for other trips too. Robb's been, we've been to the Dominican. It's been probably 10 years ago that we went to the Dominican and took about the same amount of people. But yeah, it's great. I mean, anytime we can get out of Cleveland in the wintertime.
Yep. The last thing I want to talk about is the handicap system.
Oh boy.
Oh, boy. Oh, it's a great system.
It is.
What do you want to talk about? Because here's okay. So here's the problem. Here's the thing. So I play in some of these events at a club and stuff like that, or used to play at a club, and you get some interesting people. They say they're a 12 and then they go shoot a 74.
That doesn't happen.
It does
That
all the
doesn't
freaking
happen.
time.
That never happens.
Do you guys have to deal with that much in your tournaments?
Yeah, we do.
Yeah, Rob does
Yeah.
more because we don't run
Yeah.
too many handicapped events.
Yeah,
That's
we
true,
do.
'cause that's a-
But I'll say
Well, let's all look at Rob then.
yes. No, I would say I think every club, every facility has
Yeah.
something like this as well, where you have just a few people that maybe try to get the system a little bit. I think the USGA and the GIN system is doing a better job of trying to put those curbs in place to be able to narrow that down and make people kind of make sure everything's equitable across the industry. But and there are some things out there outside of GIN that are programs that you can use, but ultimately it comes down to handicap committees at facilities. They have to make some hard decisions
Yeah.
sometimes based on how somebody plays. And we've had a few in our events that have we should say, have shot an exceptional score.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that it can take the taint off an event because, when you get into something and you're like, off the rip, you have no chance to win because so-and-so's playing in the event, it makes it hard. So
I think what you could do is if you get caught, you get a 3-second head start, and then you can tase them.
Oh,
there you go.
I mean, like the electric chair, right? It
Yeah, pain
deters-
is the best learning experience.
Well, I
So
mean, or you get to whack them with a 7-iron in the back of the legs or something.
yeah, I don't think we've ever talked about tasing people, but
I mean, listen, I'll do it. I mean, the minister of pain. So I asked him that. I kind of put him on the spot. Let me ask you this: you've been you do all the rule, you do some rules of tournaments and stuff like that, rulings. I know you do too. What is the most underutilized rule in golf?
underutilized
Player,
roller golf.
like I just found out in all my years, okay, that you can actually take a stroke penalty and place your ball out of the sand trap.
Well, it's 2 strokes now.
Well, okay, whatever, 2 strokes.
Yeah.
My daughter had a struggle at Fairlawn
Yeah.
at number 15, and I'm just thinking to myself, that would have been good. And then it happened in Worcester again, and she's like, no, I'm going to hit it out. I'm like, just take the damn 2 strokes. So what would you say?
Unplayable ball probably is the biggest one where people don't, apply that
Just use your
rule.
foot.
Well, I'm sure there's some of that going on, but
that's the
but
guy
the
that's
unplayable lie.
sandbagging as well.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
I know.
Exactly. Or stroke and distance going back. Unplayable ball. You get 2 club lengths from where the ball lies, so that may get you out of some trouble. Or you can keep the point from where the ball lies and the flag stick and go back on that line as far as you want.
And is it a penalty stroke
It's a
too?
1-shot penalty.
penalty stroke.
Or you can always go back to where you previously played from under a 1-stroke penalty. So a lot of players, especially younger players, don't. Stroke and distance is pretty penal. But they don't understand that sometimes it's hard to get out of the situation you're in. So using the unplayable ball rule is, that could be your best option.
Yeah.
And so, that's probably the one that I would probably recommend the most when I do seminars, especially to younger people. This is not a bad option to get you out of the trouble that you're in.
Yeah.
So, but, the rules are really here to help you. I know we say that, but they really are. I mean, if you know the rules, they're definitely here to help you and get out of these situations that you find yourself on a big scope of property that the ball sometimes doesn't go where we want it to go.
Yeah. Story of my life. You'd think if Roy McIlroy in Tin Cup would have used that rule, he would have probably beat Don Johnson a little bit more in that movie.
There you go. Yeah.
I mean, I'm just being honest,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
I'm just being honest. So, what can we look forward to for golf next year? In your last question, what can we look forward to in your individual associations? Is there anything new that you guys are going to look to do next year, or is it just more of the same? Some great events, some great people.
Yeah, I think it's more of the same. It's NOGA. I'm actually coming up on my 9th year here at NOGA,
Wow.
and we have had so much change in those 9 years. And I've kind of said, I love how busy we are and where things are going, but the to have 1 year actually kind of just nothing new. It's just kind of we're going to run it again, and we're going to do something, and we're going to do better. I'm so proud of how we run things. I think that would be fun. I will say this: we've done a merger with the Women's Association in Ohio. We're running their major championships.
Awesome.
So that's another year of being able to help build women's golf in Ohio and be a part of that. I'm very, very excited about that part of it.
Cool.
So we're looking forward to that, and just more of the same, and seeing if Brian Smith can make it number 11 next
Yeah,
year.
we're gonna have to get him on the show. But if it ain't broke, don't fix it, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean,
it
let's
is.
be honest. I mean,
Yeah.
And again, that goes back to our staff. I want to make sure that everybody knows.
Yeah,
that.
no question. And you do the simple things well is my theory, and just continue to learn from mistakes that we made and continue to grow in that regard. We're looking to grow junior golf a little bit. We've already, I think, we've got a great group of junior golfers, but we're going to try to add some
work
more.
on no shows and cancellations.
Yeah,
and,
so
junior
we're
tournaments.
going to try.
Just saying.
We're trying to give more
Hey
access.
Lily, you're not teeing off at 9:50. You're going to move to 9:30 with some random girl because the 2 girls didn't show up. That did happen one time.
Did
It
it?
wasn't Lily. The girl
Okay.
she was playing with one of
All
her
right.
friends. She's
Well,
like, God damn.
We're always
it is what it is.
we're always looking to improve and do things better. Our venues have been unbelievably great.
Is it getting tougher to get venues for
It
tournaments?
is.
It
It
is.
is. You know,
the T-sheets, like we were saying,
You got
it's
it.
the off hours that T-sheets are available. It's
so that is more difficult. We're getting ready to announce the Ohio Open. Actually, is going to be contested this year at Firestone in 2025.
What?
So extremely excited about that. We're going to have a press release go out here. I don't know when this airs here in about 2 days. So we're extremely excited to have that happen. But yeah, just continue to do what we do, and your people are way more important than your product. And so we're lucky enough to have really good people running our events. And
That's me, by the way.
that's right.
I know. So you're having it at Firestone East, the golf course?
No, it's going to be north of Fazio and the South course. We're going to play all 3 golf courses.
Really?
Yeah.
That's awesome. That'll be exciting, and it's closer for me to go to.
That's right.
So, gentlemen, thanks for joining me. I know I'm sure we'll talk again, and I know I'm really excited to, promote and raise awareness to both your organizations. So I appreciate it, Rob and Dave. And let's listen to Coach, I guess, Captain Mitch Camp talking about the Ohio Cup and domination against the South. So one of the great things I wanted to talk about, since we're talking about Northern Ohio golf, is it's always great when the North beats the South of Ohio.
Yeah.
Yes. In the 28th annual Ohio Cup, we've got El Capitan, plane captain, who's participated 23 out of the 28 Ohio Cups, joining us. Mitch Camp, welcome to the Clubhouse Confidential.
Thank you very much. Pleasure to be here.
Yeah. So tell me a little bit, give me a little bit of background on the Ohio Cup.
Oh, boy. Well, we had 3 straight years of not much luck, put it that way. It's always a highlight of my season, and it's definitely an honor to be the captain this year after being assistant captain the last 2 years where we struggled. We had a chance at the one, but I had a really good feeling going into the year this year. We had great chemistry on our team, and I can tell you the reason I felt like that is we have 16 players. We have 6 seniors and 10 juniors. And as I'm going through our roster trying to make preparations, I started calling everybody, congratulating them on making the team, and okay, who do you think you'd like to play with? And everybody picked somebody that nobody else picked. So It was like everybody got to play with who they wanted to play with without me making a decision. And I think that was really a key. I mean, I just felt, everybody was comfortable. Mm-hmm. When you're playing match play, especially in a Ryder Cup type format, I think it's very important that you have history with your partner.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you've been through battles, tested together.
Mm-hmm.
You've picked each other up when the other guy's struggling a little bit. You have full confidence in your partner. And I just felt like that this year. The teams just fell together in a way that, it just made me feel like everybody was comfortable. And in that situation, everybody's going to play a little better when they feel that way.
Yeah. Let alone
really,
like
really, really good.
Yeah, let alone like each other, right? I mean, you have to. You're spending a lot of time on the golf course, and I really like some of your matches. So when you talk about juniors, we're not talking about junior age children like high schoolers. You're talking about younger than seniors, correct?
Oh yeah. We're under 50. The juniors are under 50. They're not high school.
Yeah. Okay. I just want to preface that.
Crowd. And then we have the over 50 crowd, which I fall into pretty easily.
Yeah. So let me ask you this now, and each player is all the players are either current or former teaching professionals too, correct?
Well, they're all all PGA professionals in some classification, correct?
Yeah. So you guys got roughed up a little bit last year. You knew you were going to be the captain. Was there anybody that might have been like an off the cuff pick for the team, or was it pretty much like you knew I want most of these guys back? I mean, how did you kind of select
we have
players?
We have a point system throughout the year.
Okay.
So there's 10 juniors and 6 seniors. And this year we picked everybody right off the list. We didn't take the 10th player of the juniors who technically there's a captain's pick for the 10th spot. So the top 9 are automatically in. We had a situation this year where our 10th player from last year, we chose the 11th player because he had played in a lot less events and his performance in each event, especially late in the season, was much better than the actual 10th player. And this year, the person who was in the 10th spot was the person who was in the 10th spot last year that we jumped over. But he had finished the year stronger than the 11th position. He was actually in 11th position coming down the stretch and passed the other player. So I couldn't refuse him for the same reasons I did the year before. So it was an easy choice for me. I just couldn't pass him up, and he played very, very well. So it was easy this year, I think, just in a lot of ways. Nice to be home and not in southern Ohio. So we were thrilled to be there. Most of our players knew the golf course pretty well. So there was obviously some local knowledge there, which, it's all, home is always an easier place to play than away in any sport. So,
right.
Being comfortable, in your home setting is important. And that's all the more reason I felt so good about this team, because I knew everybody was comfortable with their partners, comfortable with the facility. And I just had that good feeling going in.
Yeah. Yeah. So you had a 9-7 lead after day one. What did you kind of tell the guys that night, that Wednesday night going into singles? Because 9-7 is somewhat comfortable, but it's really not, because it's only 2 points. And as you know, singles, anything can happen.
Right, anything can. We mixed it up a little bit. For the last, I don't know, probably 7 or 8 years, whoever had the first team person to throw out, we do it like the Ryder Cup does, basically. So we threw out the first name, and then they get to throw out an opponent, and they throw out the first name on match 2, and then we get to match up with match 2 and throw out somebody for match 3. They get to match up on match 3 with that person. But the last bunch of years, both teams have led off with what they feel is their strongest player in the first match, and the other team has come back with what they feel is their strongest player in that match to match up. And I think they thought we were going to do that. I really do. And we decided we were just going to put somebody else out differently. And it took them a long time to decide who they were going to throw out there. I'm sure we caught them off guard. There's no doubt in my mind.
Yeah.
With a 2-point lead, I wanted our best players to be bringing up the rear, because I knew, it was going to be close down the stretch, and I wanted to have the guys at the end of the field. We pretty much talked about it ahead of time. I wanted to have those guys ready to play and put it in their hands, because I felt like we matched up pretty good in the matches that we put at the end of the day.
Yeah.
And as it turned out, that's what happened. We were pretty much dead even with 4 or 5 matches to go, and won 3 of those matches of the 4 and ended up winning. So I just think I got to give Griffey a shout on that.
He doesn't need any nice positive affirmations.
And he said, Mitch, I think we need to switch things up and do things differently. They kind of know our game plan, and we kind of know their game plan, and it's time to it's just time to do something different. And my strategy was, our seniors have gotten old compared to theirs, quite honestly. Of our 6 seniors, we had 4 of them that are in their mid-60s. in a 50 and over group, and they've got the majority of their seniors are 55-ish. If I had to average them out,
Okay.
so the last 3 or 4 years, our seniors have gotten beat up pretty good. Prior to that, we went through a stretch where we won a bunch of years in a row, but it was because our seniors basically got all the senior points. But those same seniors are now older, and we haven't backfilled with any younger seniors. So I was really trying my best to pair the seniors where we could at least hold our own instead of getting shellacked in the seniors. The first day we got 2.5 points, which I was happy with out of 6. And my goal the second day was to get at least 3. So, we switched it up. I'm sure you know Bob Sowards, who's probably the best senior player, club pro player in the United States at this point. And I've known Bob a long time, and I've played him in match play a few times. And, I quite honestly, I mean, as much as I hate to say it, I probably didn't play as well the first day as the majority of the other seniors. And shockingly to me, the Southern Ohio team put him out on the second name to throw out, which means we got to pair up against him. And I had told my team ahead of time, if they throw him out there unprotected, I'll play him, because I didn't play that well the first day. And I actually played good. I lost, I think, 3 and 2. I didn't putt very well, but I knew basically at that point, I knew our 4 strongest seniors against their four strongest seniors. I knew we were a better matchup against them.
Okay.
Our depth was our problem. So basically taking their best player, I wasn't trying to lose, but I felt like if I lost that match, it was still a gain for us, because the remainder of our seniors were better than the remainder of their seniors. And I thought we could win at least 3 points, and we won 3 points. Actually, I think we won 3.5. Which was a bonus. But that was the strategy going in. The first day I thought we played really well. We matched up well. But the second day was just to change it up. And I think it worked well. I was still shocked that they put him out unprotected instead of waiting for when they had an opportunity to put him with who they wanted. That's always what both teams have done. They've held their studs and tried to put them against who they wanted them to match up with when it was their time, to match up, not their time to throw out a blank name. But I mean, I thought that was a key thing on the second day. But it was a great event. It was my thrill to be the assistant captain the last couple of years for Roby. And, this year to be captain, an event that, I've played in more than, Bob Sowards and I have probably played in more than any of them. I've missed 3 or whatever. It's just something that, it's dear to my heart. And it was a thrill to bring the cup back to Northern Ohio. The players all played so well. It wasn't me. But I think it was just something that I was really proud to be in this position. And I hope I can continue next year and my last year and bring it back one more time and get on a roll here.
So you had a couple key players. I mean, your whole team is key, but you had some players that actually got 3 points for you. Talk about a couple of those guys.
Oh yeah. Atchison, who's my partner, Tom, had been playing very well all year. He got all the points. He and I partnered up first day and won both of our points, and then he had a good match the second day. We had some key matches on the last hole. Tom Waitrevich, my assistant captain, made a great par putt on 18 to secure a point, as opposed to splitting his match. and it came down to the last two guys. We needed 1 point, or actually a half a point out of the last two guys. So we got to the point where we felt pretty good there, but it still wasn't secure. And it was great.
Yeah. And also too, I mean, I've played with this gentleman, Jason Hansen, played
Jason,
solid.
yeah.
I mean, that guy's a ball player.
Well, when I was talking about, our usual first pairing for the last at least half a dozen years, Jason has always wanted to go out first on the singles matches. And he's just one of those guys. He wants to get at it. He wants to, he wants to get out there and do it. And they know that. And they've always put one of their guys out first that they wanted to put against Jason.
Right.
And when I didn't, when that didn't happen, I think it threw them all off the second day. As far as I think they had their lineup kind of already set, which is normal. Most teams kind of have a rough idea how they're going to throw people out, because it took them a long time to respond to our first guy we threw out. So
yeah.
And Jason's great. We had a good supply of veterans. We had 3 or 4 new rookies this year. Anthony Panapento was a rookie and did a great job. We had some guys that were back. Drew Pearson played very well. Paez played really, really well. He's been a bulldog. But it was just a good team effort. Everybody played hard. Everybody played well. And one of the things that I've mentioned almost every year for the last 3 years, a comment that I made assistant captain, is the half points mean so much. If you've got a chance to get a half a point versus no points, I mean, that's a 1 point difference in the total. They get half less and you get a half more. And you've got to make sure you don't lose the opportunities to get those half points. And if you can get, in that position, I've always felt like the team that either gets the whole point in those situations or at least scrapes to get a half a point, that's huge. I mean, it's just huge.
Yep. Well, Mitch, we appreciate it. I mean, Westbrook Country Club is a beautiful facility, almost 7,000 yards from the tips. Congratulations on your first victory as a captain of the Ohio Cup. And the 29th, you got to bring it. We got to repeat, because we are the North, and we got to beat them. Where's it going to be where is it going to be hosted next year?
We have not heard where it's going to be yet in Southern Ohio. Griffith may be able to tell you that when he's on.
Yeah.
I have not heard a formal yet of where it's going to be.
Awesome.
I believe it's going to be in Columbus, but I'm not 100% sure of that. Yep. They have Dayton and Cincinnati, in their territory. But I haven't heard any formal as to where it's going to be. They didn't announce it at our dinner. So
they're not going to give you any
trying to find
information.
someplace with a lot of local knowledge, just like we were doing. And so we'll start qualifying here in April. And after a full season of golf, we'll culminate it with hopefully another victory.
Awesome. Well, thank you, Coach Camp, for joining us on the Clubhouse Confidential. And we're excited. I might try to make it down there and heck a little bit the South. They'll probably
that'd be great. Absolutely. We'd love to have
Griff won't
more
leave,
people there spectating the better.
Yeah, awesome.
We need
Thank
all
you.
the rooters we can.
Yep, absolutely. Thank you. Congrats on your win. All right, so we just talked to El Capitan Mitch Camp, who won the adult Ohio Cup, North beating the South, and it was nice. About a week or two later, the juniors. I think what number year is this for the Junior Ohio Cup?
This is year 2.
Year two.
Yep.
Year 2.
Yep. They just started it.
Yeah. So we got Jimmy Beers, who is a friend of mine, personal friend of mine. So I'm excited to talk to him. You were one of the coaches. You were the assistant capitan.
I got the honor to be the assistant captain to Coach Drew Pearson. So that was a very nice honor to be the assistant captain.
Yeah. What were your kind of expectations going into the weekend?
To win.
Okay. Because they won the first year, right?
Yeah, they won the first year. So, no assistant captain year one. It was just Drew. So with the addition of me, I'm like, kids, we have to win. If we lose, they're going to blame Coach Beers since I wasn't there last year. But no, we ended up winning. So expectations were, one, just to experience the Ohio Junior Cup. Yeah. Awesome event. And two, experience Columbus Country Club.
Yeah, which is a beautiful golf facility.
Beautiful Donald Ross. Beautiful Donald Ross. We'll talk about that too today. Also,
will we? Okay.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Funny story about Donald Ross.
Thanks for having me here.
And just to witness the kids' golf games. These kids, they're top junior golfers.
Did you know some of them? I know you know at least one of them because I know the person too. But did you know?
I knew 3 out of the entire 16 kids.
Okay.
Personally.
Yeah.
Coaching one of them, Ellie, but the rest of them I met Friday morning, so it's kind of cool.
What was your, just seeing them kind of on the range, first couple holes, maybe warming up, what were your kind of early impressions of them?
I mean, just knowing that these kids qualified, I knew they have game. Most of them, all of them are in either high school or playing college, freshman year of college. We had a couple college kids playing. So
they came back. That's nice.
Yeah, they came back. Yeah. So just watching their warm up routines, and they're well established in what they do. So it was kind of cool just to see.
Yeah, yeah. And I know some of these gals personally and families just because of Lily playing against a lot of them and stuff. And we have really good golfers in the North. And this is one of the reasons I started the Clubhouse Confidential and the Northern Ohio Golf Club, just because of, to really promote, we have such good facilities and such good coaches and such good players, and especially in the junior game. We won 3 state championships. Magnificat won Division I girls, Hoban won Division I boys, and then Warren JFK won, I think, Division III out of the Youngstown area. So, why did they select you? And I don't mean that disrespectfully, but why you, Jimmy? Let's be honest.
I won the lottery.
Yeah, exactly.
No, actually, they haven't officially announced this yet, but I won the Youth Player Development Award for the Northern Ohio PGA this year.
Yeah,
Thank you.
Congrats.
So we'll get that award on December 8th at our fall meeting. Nice. And with that award came being the assistant captain. So it's a really cool honor to win the award. So third time winning the award.
Nice. What award do you have to win to be the captain?
So Drew is our board of director, and he is the junior golf chairman for that. So that's why Drew is our selected captain.
Nice. And have you worked with him before? I know you know him, but have you worked with him maybe in different events or played in tournaments with him and stuff like that?
I played with Drew. I've been to Drew's facility, the Clubhouse Cleveland. My PGA Junior League, went down there and played an indoor PGA Junior League match a couple times against Drew's place. So
up. You went up there.
We went up. Yeah, it is up.
I don't know why people from Ohio consistently do that. It drives me nuts being Canadian.
It's up.
It's like, are you going down to Canada? It's like, Canada's up, man.
Yeah, no, it's up to.
We're going up to Columbus. No, you're going down. So I know you're right. I'm just giving you a tough time.
Cool facility.
Yep. Yep. So tell me a little bit about Columbus Country Club. You're kind of saying you wanted to talk about that. Since this is your show, and I'm the guest, please tell me what you'd like to talk about.
You're the assistant captain today.
Yeah, exactly.
No, first of all, I've never been to Columbus Country Club.
I've passed it like 100 times.
And I wanted to go down a couple weeks prior and just check it out, and my schedule just never allowed it. I'm too busy teaching the private lessons.
Right.
And one of my former assistants from Raccoon Hill, Ryan Call, he's from Ravenna. He's actually the director of golf at Columbus Country Club. So we have an in. We can go play anytime we want. I knew it was a Donald Ross design. And on Friday, when we were there, the kids, I kind of asked all the kids playing, I'm like, hey, do you know who Donald Ross is? And none of these kids knew the name Donald Ross.
I know Rick Ross.
And I know the painter Ross.
Yeah. Not Ronald Ross. Jim Ross, right? The painter? No, who was that? Bob Ross.
Bob Ross,
yeah.
I was actually Bob Ross for Halloween a few years ago.
I can see that.
But none of the kids knew what Donald Ross meant.
Yeah.
And if you're a golfer, you should know what Donald Ross represents.
Especially, I don't think people understand the designers we've had that have built courses. You look at Stanley Thompson. I'm Canadian. I'm a purist. I love Stanley Thompson designs. He's designed one of my favorite courses in Canada called Whirlpool in Niagara. But he did like Beachmont, and he did this. He did Sleepy Hollow, and and there's Donald Ross courses here, and there's Pete Dye courses here, like Fowler's Mills Pete Dye. So like what? So the kids had no clue who Donald Ross is.
They had no clue. So I had to kind of give them a little history. 1920s. Donald Ross courses I love because they were built without bulldozers. They didn't have that. It was just the lay of the land, and he did his magic. And with Donald Ross, I mean, you have to play, twice the break, half the speed, and these kids were not doing that on Friday, and they were hitting putts from 10 feet, 14 feet by the hole, and they were like, but the greens were running 13, 14 all weekend.
Wow.
It was dry, it was firm, and it's a long Donald Ross course.
Yeah.
The boys were playing about 7,000 yards.
Holy
cow. That's, no fun.
Yeah, but they can hit some. I've seen some of these kids, man. It's just like,
they can hit it.
Boom! It's like, still, it hasn't dropped yet.
Yeah.
Yep. So was that kind of obviously, yourself and Drew did the pairings and stuff like that. How did you pair kids together? Because I'm sure there are kids that a lot of the kids probably know each other because of playing tournaments and what have you, or have played high school. I mean, Stenzel and Yumi Kahara played at Walsh together. Some others might have played together and stuff like that. How did you guys decide the pairings, or are they pretty much preset?
So they kind of were preset, and I really got to thank Haley Gray.
Love Haley.
She's the best.
She's awesome. Shout out to Haley.
Huge shout out to Haley. She knows
awesome.
She knows these kids like they're her own, and Haley actually provided the pairings for Saturday.
She did
because she knows the kids.
Yeah,
me and Drew don't. So Friday's practice round was
why isn't
the pairings.
she the captain?
So when and I asked that question because I really feel Haley should be the captain.
Yeah, she is the face of
Southern Ohio
Northern
PGA.
Ohio Junior Golf.
Yeah, she is
Absolutely.
And Emily, our intern, PGA Works. She's an amazing person too. So between the two of them, I really feel like. I mean, they were the captains, but the captains were the only two coaches that were allowed to help the kids during the rounds.
Okay.
And I think when they started the Ohio Junior Cup, they wanted to mimic the Ohio Cup.
Yes.
So they wanted PGA professionals to be involved. So that's kind of why we ended up being the captains. But Haley was definitely
integral part.
Yeah, we had walkie-talkies going, and we were in each other's ear. And so Haley made the pairings based on who she knew and why they should play together. So they played together on Friday in their practice rounds, and then for Saturday's matches. And then Saturday night, the Columbus Country Club had a dinner for everybody, the families and the kids, and we did a pairings party for on Sunday. So me and Drew kind of got together and decided who was going to play in what order. We had no idea who they'd be paired against. For Southern Ohio, that kind of just got randomly picked at the dinner. But we kind of made our lineup of who we wanted to go out first, who we wanted to go out last, and as it proved out, we did a pretty good job.
So is it kind of weighted like with the age group? So like a 14-year-old girl is not going to be playing an 18-year-old girl, and a 13-year-old boy is not going to be playing a 17-year-old boy? I mean,
correct.
How does that? I mean, I know there's 3 age groups in boys and 2 age groups in girls junior golf tournament. So is that kind of how it was mimicked?
Correct. So we had we made sure with the Southern Ohio captains that the 2 kids representing the younger division, which was I think 14 to 16, or 14, 15, played together, and then the other kids from 16 to 19 could just get randomly paired up against each other.
Okay, nice. How did Saturday go? There was kind of a little bit of, it was pretty close on Saturday, right? Was there a lot of just kind of pre-match or just kind of jitters and what have you, just getting kind of acclimated? Because a lot of these kids have not played in an event like this before.
There were a few returners from last year's team, so we kind of relied on them to, lead their groups. I think Haley actually had one of those in each of the groups.
Good.
So that kind of helped the nerves a little bit. It was very nerve-wracking environment. Columbus Country Club is a very intimidating golf course, and you're paired with kids you've never really played before. These kids compete in Northern Ohio against each other, but now you're in Southern Ohio,
different game.
in a different game. So the weather was absolutely perfect. There was a lot of spectators. We did the announcements on the first
Was that
tee.
kind of weird to have that many spectators? I mean, I know you have parents, and because a lot of times you go to these junior golf tournaments or high school matches or tournaments, you'll have a handful of people on each hole. Was it more than that on a lot of the holes?
Yeah, there was. And,
awesome.
And the members were also very intrigued of what was going on.
Really?
You had the matching uniforms, so the
that's
members
cool.
The members could tell that there was something going on. And the one thing on Saturday, at the end of the day, I heard the members coming in and talking to the pro shop and say, "Man, this golf course played harder today than it has all year long." So
that
they
superintendent.
They definitely made sure that Columbus Country Club was in perfect shape for the tournament.
Did you guys know, you or Drew know the other captains for Southern Ohio?
So Drew did, because he was the captain last year as well.
Okay.
I got to meet both of the guys. However, I knew the Scioto Country Club Pro from some trainings that I've been to.
Nice. So what are some of the players that stuck out for you?
Well, so
not to put you on the spot.
Not to put me on
the spot.
They all did. They all did.
Okay, that's a political answer.
Yeah, it's a political answer.
Right.
A couple of cool stories. So Julian Dugan was supposed to be on our team, paid his entry, gave our sizes for the jerseys, and on Friday didn't show up to the practice round, which was kind of wild. So we found through his location on a phone from one of the other junior players that Julian was actually at college in Indiana. So he was not going to be making the Ohio Junior Cup. So in a complete state of panic, and again, shout out to Haley, because Haley jumped on the phone, and the next player in line was Silas from Greene High School. And Silas's mom answered the call, and they were down there first thing Saturday morning, and Silas
and no practice rounds.
No practice round. So Silas really came through for us.
Good.
Tremendous kid, tremendous family, and a tremendous player. It was a real shout out to watch him play.
Yeah.
He plays under Greg Andrago.
Yep. Your guy at where's Greg Andrago's at Ellsworth
Meadows, baby.
Yep.
So it was cool to see that. And I've never met Silas before, but he was really cool. I will say Silas and Dan Gambone.
I've heard that name before.
From Hoover or Canton. And then Ellie Gonzalez-Ribble, those three were not able to play practice rounds because of school commitments, and obviously Silas being the last minute addition. So,
come on, Kevin.
Well, Ellie had some tests.
Come on, Kevin. We both know Kevin.
I will say the players that played Saturday without the Friday practice round struggled a little more on the
well, I mean, it's a different type of course, and then you got the environment. At least if you play a practice round, so if you don't play a practice round, you go in there, you've got all these fans and whatever, it's a different thing. But at least if you know the course somewhat, it's just going to help with that. Now, I heard a story that a girl on your team got sick, and this other gal was at Bob Evans having breakfast. And I actually know the girl because we played some high school tournaments with her, and the dad is a great dude by all means. And she showed up and played with the gal who couldn't play clubs, and balls and gloves and everything else.
So Gianna Reginelli.
Yep, good player.
I think she plays for St. Joseph High School.
Yep, she's from Avon, I think. Yep,
she's finished maybe 4th in state. Yep. An amazing player.
Very good player.
I watched her play her practice round Friday. I actually captained her in the last 3 holes in their team match on Saturday. It was a very tight match, and Gianna was amazing. She got up and down for par on 16. She stuck it in there on 17. Really did a good job, parred 15, just to secure the match. And they didn't have to play 18. The match was over. So when we found out Sunday morning Gianna was running a fever and a cough and all that, we were like, oh, no. The Ohio COVID Cup. And as it turned out, it wasn't. But Grayson Vidovic from Aurora,
great player,
another great player, happened to be down there on Saturday watching the Ohio Junior Cup.
Really?
And then Sunday she was going to go watch one of her college buddies play.
Right.
So, so we got the call that Gianna couldn't make it. Again, Haley Gray did her amazing magic and called Grayson Vidovic.
Was she on the list?
I don't know
Doesn't
that for
matter
sure,
at that point.
but
she was in Columbus.
She was in Columbus. She
with
happened
no
to be,
clubs, no nothing.
No clubs.
Did she even have golf clothes?
No. So she ended up wearing Gianna's Sunday outfit for the Junior Cup. Thank God it fit. And she used Gianna's clubs, Gianna's golf balls.
Golf shoes?
Probably.
Yeah.
And
oh my God.
And went on to help us secure the cup. So
really,
2 crazy substitute golfers. And shout out to Southern Ohio PGA for allowing Grayson to play, because they could have just took the point and ran with it.
I would have personally.
Yeah, you probably would have. But the captains down at Southern Ohio said, this is about the juniors.
It's about the kids, man. And he gets to a point where, especially in this day and age where you have just some craziness, it's good that they were respectful, and at least you guys didn't win by 1 point.
Yeah, that would have made it a little different.
Yeah, that would have made it uncomfortable. Do we take the cup? Do we not take the cup, and what have you? So, what was your biggest takeaway from the weekend, other than winning?
Winning is always a good takeaway. There was a lot of amazing things. Again, the work that Haley Gray does during the summer really, to me, paid off and showed off at that Ohio Junior Cup. And I texted her and told her that, like, these kids, like she loves them, but they love her even more. And it was cool to watch. Haley broke down in some tears, when some of the matches were over and we won. And again, huge shout out to her. Watching the kids, singles is hard.
Yeah.
The best ball is fun. You screw up a hole, your partner can take care of you. But the singles is just you and that opponent.
It's golf, right?
The one thing I did take away is kids don't know how to play match play.
How much do they play?
They don't. They don't play a lot of it. And, there's huge strategy in match play. So as a captain, and Drew can attest, that was our goal as captains, is to make sure the kids knew, like, the strategies behind making sure you have the honor and making sure that if you just need to get a bogey to win a hole, it's okay to make a bogey to win a hole. You don't have to be making birdies and pars. You just got to win holes. It's 18 one-hole matches instead of an 18-hole stroke play event. So that was cool. The conditions of the golf course, the staff at Columbus Country Club, just kind of outstanding. And just watching these kids compete, it's always fun. That's why I'm so involved with junior golf.
Yeah, and we're in a really good spot in Northern Ohio.
And the parents weren't allowed to help, so it was kind of cool. the kids had to do it all by themselves. It was amazing.
Yeah, but isn't that how they're supposed to be technically with high school and like Northern Ohio golf?
That's right.
Things?
They are.
Oh, God, I mean, some of the stories, it's like I'm not even going to get. I mean, that could be
a whole nother podcast.
Oh my God, that could be like just what I've seen in the couple years my daughter's played competitive golf and stuff like. And you know her well, obviously you work with her. But so will you be invited back next year? I guess that's $1 million. And will Drew be the captain next year? Let's start some drama here on the Clubhouse Confidential.
Yes, so confidentially.
Yes.
Confidentially.
Because no one's going to watch or see this.
So confidentially, I heard that I am coming back next year.
Really?
But I didn't have a signed contract that says anything like that.
Do I need to confirm or deny it for you?
Yeah, we might have to ask. Okay. We might have to ask Griffey.
Well, that's funny because he's going to be here.
I would sign up for a 100-year contract to be.
You enjoyed it that much.
I enjoyed it that much.
Yeah. The kids probably enjoyed it. I mean, they probably are just overjoyed by it. But here's the thing. You touched on something just quickly. You talked about kids don't play match play, but don't they play match play in college?
They do. And I reached out to a college coach about that and just confirmed it. Like most of the Eastlake Cup right now is being match played today. So the kids should learn if they're going on to play it.
But how would you do it though? Here's the problem, because because this might be something I can do with the Northern Ohio Golf Club, which I'm starting, doing some events, doing some fun and different events. It'd be interesting to see how that can be done. Now, if Northern Ohio Golf wants the NOGA or the NOPA, the Northern Ohio PGA wants to do it, have at it, because they do a great job, and I would never take away from them or NOGA for that matter. But and I'm trying to do more social, kind of more fun, lax, like a worst ball scramble and stuff like that, live tour maybe, stuff like that. But how could they do it? Because it's such a weird format. You'd have to form teams, and how do you make the teams?
Yeah, and that's a great question. I look back.
Haley Gray.
Haley Gray. Emily,
Gray.
Come on, match play.
Let's do it.
I look back. I loved match play as a kid.
It's awesome.
And I was trying to think, how did I learn how to play match play? And a lot of it was just playing some side Nassau matches with, the people that you were playing. It was more match play matches when you had a little $2 bet on the line than it was ever stroke play. The kids now, though, play so many stroke play events. There's 5, 6, 7 tournaments a week for these kids to play in, as your pocketbook knows.
No more than 2 in a week next year. We did 3 some weeks, and that was just
that's a lot.
Yeah, it's just a lot.
That's a lot
for us.
And then with junior golf, they're stressing pace of play.
Yeah.
So the honor in golf, which is a tradition of unlike any other.
Yep.
has kind of gone away a little bit with today's world of junior golfers, and they want whoever's ready to hit. So all year long, the kids are prepared to hit first on stroke plays, and then you get to a match play event where you get the honor. I think that's a privilege, and it's an opportunity to put pressure on. But even during the Junior Ohio Cup, the kids were not accepting the honor. If the other player was ready to play, they played, which was fine until Dexter James from Hudson was 157 yards away, and his opponent was 159 yards away, and Dexter hit first and hit it to 2 feet, and they made Dexter replay the shot because Dexter played out of turn. And in match play, you have that opportunity to make your partner re-hit. So it was a little bit of a sticky situation because here we weren't playing strictly match play rules off the tee boxes, but then from the fairway, they hit out of turn on a hole and actually got called out. Now, if Dexter would have chopped it into the bunker, I don't think they would have made Dexter replay that shot. But,
Dexter, stop hitting good shots, Dexter.
But the cool part is, back in the day for match play, you had to decide who was away. But now with the rangefinders, both kids hit their little number and they're like, I'm 157, I'm 153. Okay, you're away. They even did that from like little chip shots. I'm 16 yards away.
Nothing wrong with that. I sometimes shoot everything. Dad, but I'm on the fringe. Shoot, gun it. What is the biggest thing you've noticed with junior golfers from that tournament? Because this is a creme de la creme. These are our best players. What is one thing? I guess is the last question I'd have to ask you. What is one thing you're seeing junior golfers do well? Is it they're working on their short game more in the warm ups? Like what is it? Are they getting stronger? Is it more like their mental game stronger? What is it?
I think the opportunities for these kids now is great. So there's multiple tournaments. They all have private coaching. Some of them have mental coaches. Strength and conditioning is
not all of them have private coaching.
The ones that were down here do.
I don't know. My guy, Canasty.
Canasty.
Yeah.
Well, so speaking of Canasty, Kayla.
Yeah.
On Sunday.
He's going to kill me for calling him that. But.
She wanted to play Meadow from Southern Ohio PGA. Meadow is probably their best golfer and one of the best junior golfers in the state of Ohio. And, we have Serena Wu on our team, who's amazing.
Yeah. You see her in a tournament. All right, she's going to win that one.
Yeah. Serena plays some very boring golf. And I love boring golf. Yeah. Straight down the middle. She's so good.
I see her in the tournament. I'm like, she's coming first or second. Probably shoot 68 this round.
But Meadow Tian is an Asian girl from Southern Ohio and just an amazing player. And no one from Northern Ohio, really wanted to pair up against Meadow in the singles, but Kayla wanted her.
Kayla's awesome. We play a lot with her. She's awesome.
And Kayla hung tough.
Yeah.
She went down early, but then Kayla won like 4 holes in a row against Meadow in the middle of the match.
Yeah.
Meadow, a little too much to handle through 18 holes.
If you knew Pat, her dad, and I think you met him, and I've gotten to know Pat, and I love Pat. But Pat is a guy like he's a football guy, and he was a really good football player, and I'm not going to tell him that. So Pat, turn your ears off. But I've heard some things about Pat. I think he was a wide receiver at Baldwin Wallace. But she has that mentality, and I think you always need a couple players like that is willing. It's not the sacrificial lamb, but it believes. She probably believed every shot that she was going to beat her. And I think I've noticed that with a lot of these junior golfers. Their confidence, it's not cockiness. There's an air of confidence with a lot of these junior golfers. And that's why they're winning. And there's even kids that didn't play on it that I see that didn't make it or whatever. Like, I feel like the junior golfer is just more equipped for a lot of things nowadays.
I agree with that. And I was hoping for a Serena Meadow matchup.
Yeah.
I think that would have been awesome on Sunday. But Kaylee wanted it. And Kayla got it.
Yeah.
And she owned it. She loved it.
Yeah.
It was really cool.
Yeah.
That she stepped up to do that.
Well, Jimmy, I appreciate it. Thanks to Jimmy Beers. Check him out. Where do they find you?
JimmyBeersGolf.com.
Yeah. JimmyBeersGolf.com. We got to make a beer for you.
JimmyBeersGolf.com.
Yeah. And
Instagram, Facebook, Twitter.
Yeah, he's everywhere. Everywhere. Mr. Worldwide.
I actually got a few Instagram followers from this Junior Ohio Cup.
There you go. I don't know if that's good or bad, but check out Jimmy Beers. Great guy, great coach, real passionate about golf, especially the juniors and what have you. So that was a really good episode. I really enjoyed talking to the powers that be with Robb and David Griffith, and obviously with Mitch Camp, the coach of the North team and the adult Ohio Cup, and then obviously with Jimmy with the Junior Ohio Cup. Don't forget to subscribe, rate, and review. We'd love 5-star reviews just as we build. Share it. If you're watching on YouTube, don't forget to subscribe on Northern Ohio Golf Club. And thanks for listening. Thanks for watching the Clubhouse Confidential, a Northern Ohio golf experience.
Thanks for listening to the Clubhouse Confidential, a Northern Ohio golf experience. Hit the subscribe button and follow us on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook at Northern Ohio Golf Club. We will see you next time on the Clubhouse Confidential, a Northern Ohio golf experience.